You feeling good, Charlie?
Charlie, you are
Yeah,
Philly's,
fantastic, aren't you guys?
you are Philly's #1 hockey beat writer. My question, do you have goalie pads?
I do not own goalie pads anymore.
Well,
No, I'm
that's
sorry,
the only
William.
thing stopping you from potentially getting a chance between the pipes for the Flyers, I would say. All right, Chuck. Thoughts on this rousing 6-3 loss to the waving the white flag New York Rangers?
Yeah, the word that was used by quite a few players. We talked to three after the game. We talked to Couturier, York, and Konechny. The word that was used was frustrated, and that's really what is going on right now. This is a frustrated team, and they're playing like a frustrated team. Like Rick Tocchet noted after the game, and he's 100% right, is that look, it's not that the goalies are playing well because they're not. I mean, Aleksei Kolosov made 0 saves. So you can't play worse than that. You know, Shane Gillis, if Shane Gillis would have been in goal, he would have finished with the exact same stat line that Aleksei Kolosov finished with. So you can't you can't absolve the goalies. But Tocchet made the point that what they had been doing, by they I mean the skaters, what they had been doing all year is they had been doing a really good job of allowing the goalies to only worry about the shot, to not have to worry about the back door. Now, because the team is playing sloppy and because the players are frustrated, they are forcing the goalies to have to worry about those backdoor passes. And then the goalies in turn, these goalies are already not playing well, but they're playing even worse than they probably would be playing otherwise because the defense isn't backing them up. Like they now look like the Flyers team from last year under Torts, the one that was giving up all those backdoor passes because the defense is no longer taking away the back door. That's a big part of it. And the team's just frustrated. You know, you saw in that first period, like, look, the Rangers are not playing well either. They just put out a letter basically saying, yeah, we're done. So it's not like they were playing against a team that is, this isn't the Lightning. This is a team that, with the amount of chances the Flyers had in the third period, this game could have went to overtime. The Rangers aren't playing well either. But in that first period, the Flyers are just making dumb mistakes. And I mentioned this on Twitter. I really don't want to only be piling on Cam York because I think there were certainly other guys that played poorly. But to me, that first goal, that just showcases everything that's wrong with this team right now, just in terms of having their frustration turn into stupidity. Like it's a 3-on-2. York defends it okay to start. He follows Panarin, whatever. Then he releases on Panarin to go attack Lafreniere, who already is being covered by Tippett. And he's doing it because he wants to break up the play. Like, it's not coming from a place of laziness. It's coming from a place of, I want to break up the play. But by doing that, you leave Artemi Panarin, the most talented player on the ice, wide open and uncovered. So obviously he's going to score if you do that. And it's just, you're just not thinking. Like they're letting their frustration get the better of them, and because of that, they're losing games. These are all winnable games. They could have won all 3 of these games, and it feels crazy to say that given the fact that they got blown out in all of them. But these were all very winnable games that they lost by just being dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% the case. I love this quote that you
It's true. It's so funny. They're like -12 in the last 3 games. It's like, yeah, they could have. They just were stupid as hell, so they can't.
I mean, it's just a bad effort in winnable games, and it really sucks. And I guess the Lightning just stole everything from them. I love this quote that you got from Sean Couturier. We sucked, plain and simple.
It's a great quote.
Yeah, I mean, that honestly could have easily been the title of anyone's story about this game. Like that's what it comes down to. Charlie, what can they even do about the goalie situation right now? We heard pregame that Vladar is 50-50 to go on the trip. Kolosov, Ersson, we've seen what they have, and it's wildly unimpressive. Should they make a trade? Can they, is there anything they can do but cross their fingers that Vladar can play?
Bill, it's a really good question. Look, I'm not giving up prime assets for a goalie. I'm not. But if you could get a team's number 3, that probably would be better than what they have right now. Look, Kolosov, I think he was decent last game, when he comes in relief. The first goal and the third goal, I'm not going to pin on him, but that second goal, I mean, to me, that's a turning point of the game, because that's the moment where, number one, it's an unscreened distance shot. You need that save. You just need that save. And the minute you don't get that save, then there is zero chance that the Flyers skaters are not going to play the rest of the game like their hair's on fire, because they're going to think to themselves, well, we just can't trust our goalie. Like, we know Sam's going through. We know he's a mess. And now we got this other guy who we're like, well, maybe Aleksei Kolosov, maybe he can bring us something. He was pretty good 2 nights ago. And then he gives up that goal to Zibanejad. It's over. It's over, because you just know, like, okay, well, this guy don't got it, and our only other option is bringing the other guy who we very much know, and they all like Sam Ersson. He's a good dude, but they know he's going through it. They know they can't rely on him right now either. They probably think he's better than the fans do, but they know right now they can't rely on him, that he's a mess. So suddenly then it becomes, we can't even make a single mistake. And in hockey, I've watched the Flyers enough. I've covered NHL teams long enough to know that when you play like you can't make a single mistake, you then make 20. Like that, you can't play like that. If you try to play perfect, you're going to play terribly. And that's what happened today. I think the goalie situation forced them to feel, it got them to feel like they had to play perfect. And then as a result, the deluge of mistakes just got unleashed. What can they do about the goalie situation, Bill? I don't know. I think you have to bring Vladar on this trip. If there's even a 10% chance he's going to appear in one of the games, you got to bring him on the trip, because, like, sure, you know, he's the only thing that can save them at this point from a goaltending situation. Ersson needs, and I said it on the last postgame, Ersson needs 2 or 3 weeks to work behind closed doors and just figure himself out. He can't get that because the starting goalie's hurt and Kolosov showed he's not ready. So that's what Ersson needs, and he can't get it. And Kolosov reminded everybody today that, look, there might be a day where Aleksei Kolosov is a quality NHL caliber every night goalie. But
It's
to
not
quote,
today.
it is not this day. It is not this day. And that there was just that we just learned that today. We now know that he's not there, that he is still developing. And honestly, he probably should still be developing. This is where he's at in his development. It's unfair to him to thrust the hopes upon him to be like, well, you got to save us. Like, no, Aleksei Kolosov can't save them. Sam Ersson right now can't save them. Dan Vladar shouldn't be playing because he needs to recover, because if they're out him the rest of the year, if he re-injures himself, then they're truly dead. So they might just have to eat it.
Aleksei Kolosov can't save them. He can't make a save. I'm also blaming him for the third goal. Yeah, don't give up a 2-on-1, but, like, I feel like it's the Ersson goal from the other night. Like, yeah, but he was there. Like, make the
fair.
stop. Also,
Fair.
it's Brennan Othman's first career goal. Not exactly a sniper there.
Fair point.
Charlie, I know, like, you don't have, like, actual injury updates, but what the hell is there to talk about in this game? So I want to talk to you about Risto. He was a game-time decision against Buffalo. Then he missed the Pens game. He didn't play today, and now he's not going on the trip. He's listed as day-to-day. There will be 32 games left after next week's trip. Do you expect to see him in 20 of them?
Look, William, we've now been down this road twice. This is the third time. So I am not going to act like I have a significant amount of confidence that this is going to be a short-term situation for Risto. The Flyers are still saying that he's, you know, that he could be back after the trip, but we've seen this story before. Like we've seen this movie before. So I think it's completely reasonable to be skeptical that Ristolainen, will be back anytime soon. We did get confirmation they're calling up Hunter McDonald. I imagine they would have called up Ty Murchison, but he got hurt, so he's actually unavailable. So McDonald's been playing better recently from everything I've heard. Alex Appleyard actually, let me know that his underlying metrics are as good as anybody in defenseman they have down in the AHL this season, aside from Christian Kyrou, who I imagine is probably getting sheltered like crazy given the fact that he's an offensive defenseman. So maybe they'll have something in Hunter McDonald. He was a guy the organization really liked a couple years ago. He's probably fallen a little bit down the depth chart, but this is an opportunity for him to come back up and maybe do what Ty Murchison did, where prove that, hey, he's better than we all think. He's a really good kid. So that'll be a fun part of covering the road trip. I'm sure he'll get into at least one game, maybe put him in for Juleson and see what happens. Like, you can't hurt. What are you going to do? Lose more? Like, I don't know. You're already losing. The one piece of legitimately bad news, though, you usually don't get injury updates after the game. Rick Tocchet did not give the details of the Rodrigo Abel's injury, but he basically said, yeah, it's not good. That's a bummer, because that means he'll probably miss the Olympics. And it just sucks. Like it sucks. Like, Latvia obviously didn't have designs of winning a gold medal, but it would have been fun to see Abels be one of the stars on that team. Maybe they could pull an upset. He gets to represent his country in the Olympics. And now, I mean, based on how bad that injury looked, and then what Tocchet said after the game, like that looks like a broken ankle or a broken leg. That's rough, man.
No, I was just looking at Latvia's schedule. It doesn't look great there. Their first game is against the U.S. on February 12th. Unless this dude has T.O.'s ankle, I don't see him making it back for that. It looked really, really ugly and stinks. They have 5 skaters, Latvia does, on their roster who have like a little NHL logo next to their name. A couple of their goalies, but 5 of their 20 skaters.
Yeah,
and they just lost basically their 1C. It's a shame for them. So it stinks. Charlie, just in terms of your outlook of this team right now, are they in a rut, or is this closer to what they are than the team that was second in the division a couple weeks ago?
Well, I think now we can say with certainty they're not the team that was second in the division. Like, they're not that good. This is natural regression. Are they in a rut? Yeah, I think they're more in a rut. I don't think they're this bad. Because one thing I will say is that, look, in spite of how ugly these games have been, like, you look at the underlying numbers in pretty much all these games. I mean, the Lightning games, whatever, the Lightning are just better. But these last 3 games, like, Flyers are right there in expected goals. They're creating chances. Like, that does tell me that when they do pull themselves out of this, they'll probably at least be okay. Like, they need Vladar back. That's number one. They need Vladar back. Until they have Vladar back, they're not going to win much. It's just the reality. Unless one of these 2 goalies goes on a crazy heater. But they're not going to win that much until they get Vladar back. So that's number one. But no, I don't think they're this bad, but they're probably back to kind of where we thought, which is, yeah, they could hang around the playoff race, but they're going to need a lot of things to break their way in order to make it. That's kind of where they are in the standings again. You know, I was thinking this on the way down, like, and I don't know if it's going to help, because again, if you don't have somebody to stop the puck, it doesn't really matter how well you play. But what this team needs to do, because they're leaving tonight, like they're getting on a plane in like half an hour, and they all need to like find a dive bar in Old Vegas and just get obliterated together. Like, they need an impromptu team bonding drinking session, and then just sweat it out tomorrow at practice and just try to like forget these last 2 weeks, because man, it's been ugly.
Didn't Jake Voracek say that helped them 1 year?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like the
Jake
10
Voracek
game
did say that.
the 10 game losing streak? He was like, "How did you end it?" And he goes, "We all got hammered and yelled at each other."
Go to the bar, boys.
A little fear and loathing in Las Vegas. A little inherent vice for everybody.